With the Jacksonville Jaguars losing to the Tennessee Titans 20-28, they are no longer in playoff contention and they will miss the NFL playoffs after being in the playoffs last season and defeating the Los Angeles Chargers. This was a team that made a lot of moves over the offseason. They went out, they drafted some guys in the NFL draft to help the offensive line, and they also made a move to get Calvin Ridley as well. You look at this Jacksonville Jaguars team. For the first half of the season, they had one of the best records in the NFL. On the back half of the season, a complete collapse. 5 out of their last 6 games, they lost. And the only game that they won within that span was against the Carolina Panthers. Trevor Lawrence was not good this season. And Trevor Lawrence has not lived up to that hype of being that franchise quarterback that this team was looking for. Now, I'm not saying that Trevor Lawrence is a bad quarterback at all. I'm not calling him a bust. But remember, when he came out of Clemson, a lot of people and a lot of scouts are saying this is a once-in-a-generational talent. This guy's going to come in. He's going to be the next Peyton Manning. He's going to be the next Andrew Luck coming out of college. He hasn't been able to be that guy just yet. And it's not all on Trevor Lawrence, because that first season underneath Urban Meyer is still hunting this kid to this day. I don't know why this Jaguars team went out and hired Urban Meyer and let him be the head coach for the first year with this team, but it's terrible. It was terrible then, and it was definitely a terrible decision now because it has stunted his growth. Doug Peterson came in last season. They had a lot of success. They made the NFL playoffs. Travis Etienne missed his rookie season, came back last year, was a very good running back for this team, still is a very good running back. But Trevor Lawrence seemed like he was in a sophomore slump this year with Doug Peterson. And he's not a sophomore in the NFL. This is his 3rd year. This is why it is essential to go out there and get the right coach as soon as possible. And you look at this division right now. Look at the Houston Texans with C.J. Stroud. You look at Will Levis with the Tennessee Titans. He may be the future quarterback for that team. And they couldn't beat them today without Will Levis because they couldn't stop the run game of Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry in that run game has not been consistent all season long. But it was consistent today against this team. And I'm going to get into this defense in just a second. Press Taylor has to go. Press Taylor is a horrible offensive coordinator with this team. Last season, he did look solid at times. He had a lot of dumb decisions then, but definitely this season as well. The play calling made 0 sense. And it was a lot of opportunities down the stretch that the Jacksonville Jaguars shouldn't have been in this situation. And I'm not saying go out there and fire Doug Peterson. I think Doug Peterson is a very good offensive mind. But Press Taylor, the offensive play caller, he has to go. And the offensive line was not good this season as well. But Trevor Lawrence definitely did not look the same this season. And I understand the injuries when he hurt his ankle against Cincinnati Bengals. He hurt his shoulder against Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And he continued to play because he is tough. Those are good intangibles that you want to see in a franchise quarterback, but it's the turnovers. The fumbles against the Baltimore Ravens. The 2 interceptions today against the Tennessee Titans. And one of the interceptions were not his fault. And all the interceptions on the season are not his fault. But he has a lot of moments to where he's just running with the football and the football just slides out of his hand. Or he has a wide open wide receiver down the field in Calvin Ridley and he doesn't see him and he throws it to triple coverage to try to get Christian Kirk open. He tries to throw him open like how he did in Clemson. It's not working at this level. And it was a huge drop in this game as well down the stretch to Calvin Ridley when he was wide open. And this team struggled with drops early on this season and on the back half of the season as well. They were just not able to gel things together. So it's more than just Trevor Lawrence. But Trevor Lawrence is supposed to come in and mask all these problems. The Jacksonville Jaguars have big problems right now because there was no reason that this team should have missed the NFL playoffs. With them missing the playoffs right now, it pushes the Steelers in. And this is a team that beat the Steelers a couple months ago. You talk about a fall from grace. They're in a similar situation this season that the Tennessee Titans were in last season. The only difference is this. The Tennessee Titans had a hurt roster in the back half of last season. Not many guys are dealing with injuries with this Jacksonville Jaguars team. And I understand Christian Kirk missed some games after the Cincinnati Bengals game. He hurt his core. You look at Zay Jones. Hasn't been the same wide receiver this season because he's been dealing with a knee injury all season long. So you do have some injuries there. But you also have some bright spots as well. Travis Etienne was solid this season. Evan Ingram was not the same tight end from last season, but he was very good this season as well. But they need to fix the offensive line. They need to get some consistency out of Trevor Lawrence, especially if he wants to go out there and be a franchise quarterback with this team in talks of getting a pay grade with this team. Now you look at their defense. They regress. Devin Lloyd was not the same linebacker last season that he was this season. And you look at Darius Williams, very good cornerback at certain points in times. But you look at Tyson Campbell. Tyson Campbell was in the same conversation with guys like Patrick Surtain, with guys like Ahmad Sauce Garner, to a lot of analysts and to a lot of insiders. He wasn't just right there with him, but he was right on the cusp of being one of those next best young corners in the NFL. Regressed. Horrific this season. Was not the same corner he was last season. Has given up a lot of big plays. I go back and look at that Cincinnati Bengals game to where he could not stop T. Higgins at all. He could not stop Jamar Chase at all. Last season, they would put him on the best wide receiver and he would shut them down. That was not the case this season. You look at Josh Allen, phenomenal this season. His numbers look good. He had 16.5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, 1 interception. He should be extended with this team because he's a true franchise defensive player with this team, especially at that edge rusher spot. And Trayvon Walker is a guy that was never known to get high sacks last season. 9 sacks this season, 0 forced fumbles, 0 interceptions, but he's a game wrecker. Stops the run and can go out there and put a lot of pressure on the quarterback. Now he's starting to get to the quarterback at a high rate. You have 2 phenomenal pass rushers. Don't lose them. Trayvon Walker has a long way to go before he gets a contract extension, but keep Josh Allen on this roster. But they couldn't stop the run today. And certain points in time throughout the NFL season, they couldn't stop the run. The coaching job with this team was horrific. You can give Doug Peterson another year, and I would say do that, but Press Taylor has to go. And that's the offensive coordinator. But interceptions, fumbles, and just complete turnovers and drops held this team back. And regression has held them back as well. I said a couple weeks ago that they were a major disappointment because this is not the same Jacksonville Jaguars from years ago, before they had Jalen Ramsey and all those guys, Calais Campbell, before they had that great defense. This is a different Jacksonville Jaguars team. You have this so-called franchise quarterback in Trevor Lawrence, and I do believe that he will be a great quarterback moving forward if he could calm down with the turnovers. But right now, he has not materialized into being that franchise guy at all. And they need to make major changes, and they have to make drastic changes, because if they don't, they're going to be in a horrible situation. They have left this season with more questions than they have answers, because last season when they made the NFL playoffs and when they beat the Los Angeles Chargers, a lot of people thought, myself included, a lot of people thought, hey, they're going to take that next step. They're going to be one of those top tier teams in the NFL. And for the first half of the season, they looked like that, but they still not able to gel things together. This was a horrible loss for the Jacksonville Jaguars, and I feel bad for the fan base because they wanted Trevor Lawrence so bad a couple years ago, and they say, hey, we got him. In the first year you got him, he didn't look particularly well because of the horrible coaching job. A year later, you make the NFL playoffs, you say, hey, here we go. You add in Calvin Ridley, you think, hey, we're about to go out there, we're about to make a true run. And they just were not able to. And their red zone offense was not great this season either, because I go back and look at that Kansas City Chiefs game months ago. Drops hurt them in that game. They could not get 2 feet down, and they could not capitalize in the red zone. They were inches away in this game from scoring a touchdown and have to go for 2. They went for it on 4th and goal. Trevor Lawrence was just inches away with the football, and they're not able to come down with it. But let me know in the comment section below, how do you feel about the Jacksonville Jaguars moving forward? If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. If you like the video, hit the like button. Most importantly, when each and every last one, guys, stay safe, stay positive. Thanks for watching the video, guys. Peace.